Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope everyone is keeping fine and safe. So let's start our video today. In this video today, we are going to discuss about RBI Grade B Officers Examination Phase 2 question paper. So in this video, you will be getting a lot of questions where I'll be giving you the answers, and also along with that, I will be discussing in it. So let's start our video today. I'll be sharing my screen so that you will be able to see the PDF of the question paper. So the questions will be visible to you. So let's start with it. I think the screen is quite visible to you all, right? So we can start with the question first. Question number 1. Which of the following can be said to be the most important aspect of economic growth? Firstly, scalability. Second option, quantifiability. Third option, sustainability. Fourth option, qualityfiability. And the fifth option is all of the above. So what we have is, let me discuss. The correct option or the correct answer to this is quantifiability, because when we are talking in terms of growth, when we are measuring growth, that will definitely be in absolute terms. That is, when we will measure it in absolute terms. All the units of measurement may be applied to show it. For example, if I say I am going to measure the economy of a country to see whether it has grown or not in the aspect of food production. So if I consider food production, how am I going to measure it? Definitely through the units of food production, that is tons, something like that. So food production can be measured in kgs, will be too less. So in that case, we can be measuring it in tons. So the absolute unit for measuring food production is tons. Similarly, let's take the example of network connectivity or road connectivity. So if we take the example of road connectivity, has it grown or not? Has it provided to the economic growth or not? So how will we measure the road connectivity? Definitely through miles and kilometers. Through that is the absolute term. That is the absolute unit of measuring economic growth. So in both the cases, we are seeing that we are measuring economic growth in absolute terms. Let me give you another example. Another example we can consider it's, let's take per capita income. So if we consider per capita income, has it grown or not? Has it contributed to the economic growth or not? So for this, if we are talking of income, so definitely we will be measuring it in monetary terms, rupees or whatever be the currency of the particular country. For India, if we are considering rupees. So all the examples I have given you, you are seeing that I am measuring it in particular or absolute terms or absolute units. So that is quantifiability. I am measuring it in absolute quantity that contributes to economic growth. So the correct answer to this is quantifiability. I will mark this as the correct answer. Next, coming to the next question. Which of the following features characterize economic development? One is quantitative. Number two, the second option is qualitative. The third option is there is a circular relation between growth and development. And the fourth option is both 2 and 3. And the fifth option is all of the above. Now, let me be very clear with it. The second option means we are talking of economic development. In the first question, it was economic growth. Here we are talking of economic development. Now, development, if we say, that comprises of economic growth. So quantifiability, that is in quantity terms, that is definitely a part of it. Just as I explained in the first question, that quantifiability or quantitative terms is absolutely a part of it. Now coming to the question of qualitative, we can see that economic development is quantitative as well as qualitative in nature. What do I mean by this? If we are measuring only through the quantitative terms and not by the qualitative terms, then we are not talking of development only. We are talking of economic growth. Okay. If economic growth is suitably used for development, it comes back to accelerate the growth, and ultimately what happens, the greater the population is brought, the better is the development contributed to it. So that means that in a similar way, if we judge it, high growth with low development and ill care development or poor or failure development, that is not called economic development. We are saying quantitative, qualitative. Along with that, we are trying to establish the growth and development relationship. In one side, if we have a lot of growth, but on the other side we are not having development, that does not contribute to economic development. So in that way, if we consider, so the three options are only correct, that is quantitative, qualitative, and there's a circular relationship between growth and development. So since three are correct, so we will be choosing, that is option number 5, that is all of the above. Option number 5 is the correct answer, that is all of the above. I'll mark this as my correct answer. Now moving on to the third question. Which of the following is or are the parameters for computing gross national happiness? Now let me come to this important point, gross national happiness. Many of you all might not have heard of this word or term called gross national happiness. What does that mean? Gross national happiness is a term that is coined in Bhutan. Okay, that's coined in Bhutan. That's one of the country in Himalayan kingdom. So what happens is they do have gross other measurements also, gross national income and other parameters, but gross national happiness is a term that is coined by them in the years 1970s. So from then onwards, there has been various parameters for measuring it. So discussing about the parameters, firstly, we have highest real per capita income, good governance, environmental protection, cultural promotion, which involves promoting of their culture, ethical, spiritual connection, and that contributes to the betterment and the better living or better life standard. So if we consider this, all the four of them are the parameters that contributes to gross national happiness. So here we will be saying that the option number 5, which is all of the above, is the correct answer to my question. So I will mark this as my correct answer. Next, moving on to the fourth question. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the Human Development Index, HDI? Okay, so the options that we have here is, firstly, UNESCO published its first Human Development Report, HDR, in 1990. HDI was the first attempt to define and measure the levels of development. The HDI was developed by Bangladeshi economist Mahbub ul Haq. So the correct answer codes are 1, both A, B, C. 1, both A and B, 2, both B and C, 3, both A and C, and 4 is all of the above given options. 5 is only B. Now I will be discussing all the points with you all. Firstly, UNESCO published its first Human Development Report in 1990. No, UNESCO did not publish its first Human Development Report. It was UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program, that published its first Human Development Report in 1990. So option A is false. It will not be UNESCO, it will be UNDP. Next, coming to HDI. HDI was the first attempt to define and measure the levels of development. Yes, this is true. It did actually measure the levels of development. Human Development Report was the basic report for it. Next, coming to the third option, that is the HDI was developed by Bangladeshi economist Mahbubul Haq. So Mahbubul Haq was developed by him, but he was not a Bangladeshi economist. He was a Pakistani economist. So this itself again proves to be the third option, that is option number C, to be the false one. So we have only B as the correct option. A and C is not correct. So the correct answer will be option number 5, which is only B. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are having other options. So we consider only option number 5, which is only B. I will mark this as the correct answer.